Sign it, Claire. Or leave my house tonight. My husband slid the divorce papers across the anniversary dinner table. Our families watched in silence. I picked up the pen and smiled. My name is Claire Bennett, and I'm 36 years old. I work as a physical therapist at a local rehab clinic. Nothing flashy, just steady work that helps people walk again. I've always been the quiet one in my husband's family, the polite wife, the peacemaker. My husband, Daniel, runs a small construction company his father started. His parents never said it directly, but I knew I wasn't who they imagined for their son. I wasn't rich or glamorous. I didn't come from money. I didn't host fancy brunches or wear designer dresses. But I had something they didn't expect: patience and proof. For years, I kept our home stable while Daniel chased bigger contracts and bigger risks. I handled bills, taxes, paperwork. I believed marriage meant teamwork. That anniversary dinner was supposed to celebrate 10 years. Instead, it became the night they tried to erase me. If you've ever been the steady one while someone else took the spotlight, this story is for you. Subscribe if you've ever felt underestimated in your own marriage. Tell me in the comments. Have you ever been blindsided by someone you trusted? Click hype and let's keep going. It was our 10th anniversary dinner at a private room in a mid-range restaurant. Both families were there. Daniel gave a short toast, acting normal at first. He smiled. He raised his glass. Then his tone changed. Marriage should help a man grow, not hold him back. He slid a folder toward me. I opened it slowly. Divorce papers. Already prepared. Already signed on his side. He said quietly but clearly, "Sign it. I've already talked to my lawyer. You'll get a small settlement. Be reasonable." His mother leaned forward and added, "It's for the best, dear. Daniel needs someone more aligned." I felt my face go hot. The humiliation was thick in the air. But I kept my voice calm. "You planned this." Daniel nodded. "I'm protecting my future." He mentioned he was updating his father's will and business structure. He claimed I had no real stake. I could feel the eyes on me. Public pressure building. His father wouldn't look at me. Guests whispered. Then came the final blow. Daniel said, "You were never meant to own any part of this family's legacy." I stared at him. Then I said quietly, "Is that what you believe?" Before he could answer, the family lawyer, who had been invited for what Daniel called a quick document matter, cleared his throat. He said, "Before anyone signs, there's something you all need to hear." The next morning, Daniel froze my access to our joint accounts. He called it a precaution. When I confronted him, he claimed I'd overreacted at dinner. He told our friends I was unstable and emotional. I was forced to use my personal savings just to buy groceries. It stung. Not just the money, the betrayal. Then the social exclusion started. His parents stopped inviting me to Sunday dinners. His mother texted me, "It's awkward right now." Daniel posted smiling photos online, implying he was starting fresh, moving on, like I was already gone. At a family barbecue the following week, things got worse. Daniel told extended family I'd never supported his business. He said it loudly enough for everyone to hear. She wouldn't understand what it takes to build something real. I looked at him across the patio. I replied calmly, "I understand more than you think." Internally, something shifted. I wasn't confused anymore. I wasn't second-guessing myself. I began documenting everything. Bank statements, emails, dates, texts. I kept copies of every nasty message, every financial move. They believed I'd quietly disappear. They were wrong. What they didn't know was I'd already read every page of my father-in-law's estate file. Months earlier, I'd helped him organize medical paperwork after a minor stroke. He was grateful. He confided in me that he respected my honesty and work ethic. He hinted he'd made changes to his will after seeing how I managed company records. I never told Daniel. I also noticed irregular transfers Daniel had made without his father's approval. Small things at first, then bigger amounts. I didn't say anything then. I just watched. I kept copies of emails where my father-in-law thanked me for protecting the company, for keeping things in order when Daniel got reckless. I had a plan they never saw coming. a secret inheritance, a revised will that included me as co-beneficiary of key company shares. Legally protected. I didn't reveal it yet. I waited. A few days after the barbecue, Mr. Whitaker, the old family lawyer, asked to meet me. He'd handled the family's estate planning for 25 years. He was quiet, professional, loyal. We met at a coffee shop. He looked at me over his reading glasses and said, "Your father-in-law trusted you more than you realize." He slid a folder across the table. Inside were copies of the most recent will update. It legally secured shares in my name. Shares Daniel didn't know about. Mr. Whitaker also mentioned discrepancies in Daniel's recent financial decisions. Transfers that didn't add up. Expenses that weren't approved. "He's been careless," Mr. Whitaker said. "And your name is on documents that matter." I felt a rush of relief, mixed with anger. Daniel grew more arrogant as the days passed. He told relatives, "Once she signs, it's over." He pressured me again privately one evening. He cornered me in the kitchen. "Don't make this messy, Claire." I looked him in the eye. "I won't." Tension built toward a formal will reading. It had been scheduled because my father-in-law's health had taken a sudden decline. Daniel assumed he was about to gain full control. He was wrong. The will reading took place in Mr. Whitaker's conference room. The family gathered. Heavy silence filled the space. Daniel squeezed his mother's hand. He looked confident, almost smug. Mr. Whitaker began reading the updated will. Standard distributions first. Property to his wife. Small bequests to grandchildren. Then he paused. "To my daughter-in-law, Claire Bennett, I leave controlling interest of 40% in Bennett Construction, effective immediately." Daniel interrupted. "That's not possible." Mr. Whitaker calmly slid notarized documents across the table. I spoke for the first time with strength. "You said I was never meant to own any part of the legacy." The lawyer continued. "This decision was made 6 months ago." He read aloud the father-in-law's statement. It cited my integrity and financial oversight. Daniel's face went white. He realized his recent transfers might now require my signature. His mother whispered, "Claire, we can discuss this." I looked at her. I remembered the anniversary dinner. I said, "You already did. At dinner." Daniel's expression shifted from anger to fear. The power dynamic flipped completely. But it wasn't fantasy wealth. It was real, legal, grounded in documents and decisions made by a man who saw what his son refused to see. I didn't gloat. I didn't rub it in their faces. Instead, I requested a formal audit of company accounts. I chose control and boundaries over revenge. The divorce proceeded, but now from a position of strength. I kept my job at the clinic. I was proud of my independence. The family treated me differently after that. Careful, respectful. Daniel realized too late that underestimating me had cost him more than money. It cost him everything. They tried to make me sign myself away. Instead, they handed me the pen. If your spouse ever tried to pressure or corner you financially, you know how isolating that feels. Have you ever been told to just sign it without being heard? Share your story in the comments. Subscribe to join others who refuse to be pushed aside. Click hype to help this story reach others who need it.